Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is September 15, 2022, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, gold plummets below 1700 back to its lows. But first, major economic events of today at 2:30 South African time. Out of the United States, we have a core retail sales number coming out. It's a monthly number. As we look at the various markets, there's been pocket of opportunities, especially in the Forex market. The euro gives up its gains back below 1-to-1 versus the dollar. Now looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ pretty much unchanged from yesterday. Now looking at commodities, gold tanks as spoken before, and oil pretty much unchanged as well. Now looking at the stocks, Facebook is just hanging out at its lows of 151. And lastly, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So let's just jump straight into it. Let's get into the Euro USD first. We got the Bitcoin up first, but let's do the Euro. Here we go. We're looking at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart. You can see pretty much that it's made its alley-oop move. We hit that high of 10223, which is a very decent area for us to be, and then give it up. Look at that, right back to its lows. So on to its purposes, we're still trading in a range, and that is something really exciting, because ultimately, if we just trade the range, there's still enough of pockets of opportunities here to just change that range. The upper range at 10220, and the lower range just below at 98-ish level, let's call it, but 99 right now. So, all intents and purposes, it shows you weakness. Even though it gapped up, it looked like it was going to go, but then it completely tanks afterwards. Now looking at the other major pairs, GBP USD also back on its lows, the Australian dollar back on its lows. So everything is trading in tandem. USD Japanese yen close to its highs versus the dollar, as the dollar is getting stronger versus Japanese yen again. So it's all trading in tandem. Now let's take a look at the commodities. Excuse me. Looking at gold, look at that massive sell-off here. You could see that just tank. I mean, this is like, can't even catch this. It happened so fast. 1730 goes all the way down to 1680. Now, in all intents and purposes, we're still at supportish level, and we're getting close to that third Fibonacci support. Okay, you can see that quite clearly up in the graph up here as it's getting to that supportish area. Now, if it does breach the 1680-ish level with some momentum, it could break further down to 1620-ish level as well. So just keep that in mind as this is making its correction on the downside. Crude oil unchanged at $87. Not much of a big dollar jump, but not much there. Looking at the Dow Jones, we are retracing here, as you can see here, from yesterday's trading session. Okay, that was the previous day trading session, but this is yesterday. Okay, so we traded in a really tight range. We're getting to that bottom, but there's no impetus to take us further bottom, at least for now. Not to say that in the next 3 to 4 weeks we're not going to get that impetus, but for now it's just hitting that bottom on the lower end of it. Now looking at the NASDAQ, also hit that bottom end of it at 12,200 or something, not breaking further down. Now for us to do that, we have to see a major bellwether do that. Okay, we have to see something like Intel continue to sell down, which it's happening. In that case, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time that the markets are going to catch up to something like Intel, because Intel is such an important company. Now looking at the other major companies, Apple also on its lows but not breaking further lower. Facebook, this is the one that I highlighted in the beginning. It's trading at 151, so it's on its lows but not breaking further lower. But I'd like to see that. If the impetus happens, we could get that even today, maybe going into Friday's session. Looking at Microsoft, also on its lows, on the bottom of the range. So everything is just coming into tandem with each other, trading at the bottom of the range. So this is something that we may see ourselves just pressuring, just slowly but surely pressuring on the downside, and then finally breaking it further down. Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, not much doing here at 20,000-ish level. We had that retracement from 22,000 right down when the market sold off, but from today it's trading with the market, so not doing much here. And when we look at a daily, we look at a 4-hour chart also, it's a really tight range. I'd wait for it to either bounce, okay, to get that bounce. I would wait for the general market to do that, or to see if it's going to further, capitulate on the downside and having that pressure as well. So just keep that in mind going into today's session and tomorrow's session. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.